Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Colton, and I like to talk about Bibles, books, and theology-related things. I have a cool video for you today, but before I get started, I do want to just say and address, I know there has been a doppelganger-ish account of mine, a fake account, some dude asking people for money for something that probably doesn't exist, and it's not me. I apologize about that. I've since found a way, I think, to block the guy, but just keep an eye out. The biggest difference between us is very subtle, but it just said Colton Yarbro 1 at the end of his username instead of just my name. So hopefully we won't see him again, but nonetheless, I wanted to address it and apologize for that. Okay, let's get into this video. I have thought about this question a lot because it's one I think many people would have. What sort of study Bible would you recommend, or in this case, would I recommend for a new Christian? Now, I want to be careful and preface this by saying that the study Bible I recommend, I think, is great for people who have been Christians for a long time. I use this study Bible. I have its notes in my Logos library. I use it all the time. But I think this is, in my opinion, the best study Bible resource for new believers, and that is the Gospel Transformation Study Bible in the ESV. This Bible, the point of its study notes is to point people to the gospel throughout all of Scripture, to point people to Jesus, Old Testament and New, and I really think it succeeds in doing that. I find it to be a helpful resource. Crossway has sent this Bible to me for review, and I want to thank them for that, for a fair and honest review. They're not, they're not making me say anything about it. My positivity about it is from experience because I've actually seen this Bible before, and like I said, I have the study notes for it in my Logos library, but this is a physical copy they've sent me. So let's take a look at it and see the features.
I fix my eyes on Christ. I fix my eyes.
All right, guys, so this one is a True Tone edition in chestnut, and it came with this really nice boxy slipcover. And here's some of the features on the back. 9-point Bible text and 8-point study notes, so very good size of the fonts there. It is a single column format, gospel-centered study notes and book introductions, content written by 50-plus contributors, 5 all-new articles on topics such as relationship between the Old and New Testament, the gospel and the Old Testament, the covenants, and more. It does contain a concordance as well as a topical index, 80,000 cross-references, and a ribbon marker. So let's take a look at the Bible itself. You can see that this cover, the True Tone cover, is a very understated, minimal, chestnut-colored cover. It does have stitching. It looks like the stitching is pretty close to the same color as the cover itself. Here's the spine. Looks really nice. ESV, Gospel Transformation Study Bible, English Standard Version, Crossway. Has all those things. Here's the ribbon. Small, thin ribbon. Nothing to write home about, but it's functional. It works. And here's the back, and it does contain the ISBN on the back. Okay, let's open it up. So you can see it has a paste down liner. Has a nice vinyl kind of in-sheet thing here. Vinyl-y. I don't know what it is, but it feels nice. Get some blank pages in the front. Presentation page. Legacy pages. All that stuff. And here we go. Getting into the Bible here. There's the publishing information for you. This is the 2016 text edition. Printed in China. Table of contents. And then here's some information about what they're trying to do, which again I'm a big fan of. And you see at the end of this, the general editor is Brian Chappell, which to me was a big green flag. I really have appreciated much of what he has had to say. ways to use this Bible. So there's personal study, group Bible study, family worship, just some different options, discipleship, preparation for teaching or preaching, all that. Here's the contributors, and they have different contributors for each book, and there's some really solid contributors here. I didn't recognize all the names, but I recognized a lot of them, and I was thankful to see them there. Preface to the ESV, and then let's get into the text. Old Testament. And we get our first book introduction here. Looks really nice, clean. Then here is our text. Now, you see the scripture text is up here, and it's in a single column. It's a very lovely single column with references on the inner margin, which I am a huge fan of, and then your study notes. I think this is an excellent layout, and it contains, like it mentions, these study notes are meant to point to Jesus in all of Scripture, even here in Genesis. So let's take a look at the Psalms. Here we go, and we can see that poetic setting there, where it's broken into more verse-by-verse type format. I love the inner column references. I think they're great. There's a small margin on the side for taking a little extra notes if you wanted to write really small. Let's make our way to the New Testament, and you can see that this is a black letter text. That 10-point font just looks really good. I've always been a fan of the font Crossway uses, but looks sharp here. You get on to the end, you get some extra goodies. At the end of Revelation, we then get this page for articles and resources. And that's where you get some of the things it was talking about on the back of the slipcover. The covenants, the gospel in the Old Testament, the relation of the Old Testament to the New. There's some great little tables that are helpful there. And then after that, you get a topical index. And then after the topical index, you get a concordance. Now, somebody let me know in the comments if you know what in the world is the difference between a topical index and a concordance, because they both just have like a topic and scripture references. So I don't know. But you get it. And then once you get past all the concordance, which you have a pretty decent sized one, you also have a daily Bible reading plan in the back. It's probably, let me see. No, this one looks different. I was going to say it's probably the McShane, but it looks different. And then once we get through that, we have some blank paper in the back, which is always appreciated for notes. And then we have maps. So that's what's in here. I love the notes in this Bible for the simplicity of it pointing to the gospel in all of Scripture. I think for new Christians, that is the most important thing that they zero in on, is seeing Christ, seeing the gospel through redemptive history. And I think this study Bible does it really well. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and checking it out. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, all the things. And I will see you in the next video.